تبارك الذي نزل الفرقان على عبده ليكون للعالمين نذيرا. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Respected viewers, let us continue with the second episode on Quran and Ramadan. Basically, we had covered in our last episode having faith in the Quran, having iman in the Quran, to recite the Quran and to understand the Quran. Let us continue today with a little bit more on the aspect of understanding the Quran and try to see how the understanding of the Quran impacts our lives on a daily basis. There are many people who recite the Quran every day. There are many people who don't recite the Quran on a daily basis, but they recite the Quran on a weekly basis. So let us try to make the Quran a companion, sahib of Quran. As in the hadith, it says that on the day of judgment, it will be said that, I will tell you in Arabic, اقرأوا القرآن, recite the Quran, فإنه يأتي يوم القيامة شفيعا لأصحابه. Recite the Quran so that it may come on the day of Qiyamah as an intercessor for you. And how can we become part of the Quran? Only and only by making the Quran our companion. Very few people are those in whose life the Quran plays a central role of guidance. There is one thing that we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala almost 36 to 40 times each day. It is the most important thing in our life, and that is اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. O Allah, guide me to the straight path, the path of those on whom you have blessed. غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين, and not of the path on whom you have shown your anger and your wrath, and people whom you have misguided. Over here we take a look at a template of guidance. The name of the Salah, Fajr, Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha. And you have recitation of your Fatiha in your Fard Salah. In Fajr you have 2, Dhuhr 4, Asr 4, Maghrib 3, Isha 4. And then you have Sunnah and Witr. So in total we come to almost 36 times in our day we recite Surah Al-Fatiha. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on a daily basis, numerous times, "Oh Allah, guide me to the straight path." Let me try to explain and share with you an example that will enlighten our minds towards the guidance that we are seeking from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala responds back in the form of guidance. If a child requests a father or a mother for a toy or for any other thing, the parent, depending upon the toy or depending upon what the child is asking, they might refuse it. They might say it's not appropriate for you, or it's a little bit expensive, whatever the case may be. First time, the parents might get a little bit upset or try to reject the offer that is coming from the child. Second time, the third time, the child keeps on requesting. Finally, the hearts of both the father and the mother starts to melt. Respected viewers, this is only the connection of human to human. What about a connection between Khaliq and Makhluq? Huwa Allahul Khaliq, Ar-Raziq. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is our sole creator, sustainer and cherisher. And how can we understand that if we are seeking guidance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how is it possible that He doesn't give us the guidance? Yes, indeed He gives us guidance, but in a form that we do not understand. Let us take a very quick look at how we get this guidance. Our source of guidance usually is our own intellect, books, teachers, leaders, and scholars. Why not ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as to what hidayah is directly from Allah? There's no room for asking a question. Ask Allah directly as to what hidayah is. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in numerous ayat that أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ, don't you think, don't you ponder, and if your hearts are locked. Now, how do we understand this form of guidance that Allah is giving to us? When you hear the ayat, guidance, lecture, lesson, what do we have to do? After you recite and understand, how will you implement the teachings of the Quran in your life? The path to implementation. Tilawah is a kind of worship to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The objectives of this worship are knowledge, tazkir, receive admonition, acting upon what is known, secret conversation, reward, and to get cured from diseases. In this beautiful ayah of Surah Yunus, ayah number 57, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يا أيها الناس قد جاءتكم موعظة من ربكم وشفاء لما في الصدور وهدى ورحمة للمؤمنين. O mankind, there has come to you a direction from your Lord and a healing for the diseases in your hearts and for those who believe, a guidance. Here is the answer, a guidance and a mercy. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives many kinds of examples. وَلَقَدْ ضَرَبْنَا لِلنَّاسِ فِي هَذَا الْقُرْآنِ مِنْ كُلِّ مَثَلٍ وَلَقَدْ ضَرَبْنَا لِلنَّاسِ فِي هَذَا الْقُرْآنِ مِنْ كُلِّ مَثَلٍ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَتَذَكَّرُونَ قُرْآنًا عَرَبِيًّا غَيْرَ ذِي عِوَجٍ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَتَّقُونَ. We have put forth for men in this Qur'an every kind of parable, example, in order that they may receive admonition. An Arabic Qur'an without any crookedness, that they may guard against evil. Continuation of path to implementation. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, الَّذِينَ يَسْتَمِعُونَ الْقَوْلَ الَّذِينَ يَسْتَمِعُونَ الْقَوْلَ فَيَتَّبِعُونَ أَحْسَنَهُ. Those who listen to the word, then follow the best of it. Those are they whom Allah has guided, and those it is who are the men of understanding. Look at the next part of the ayah. Beautiful. أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ هَدَاهُمُ اللَّهُ. Those are the people to whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guides. وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمْ أُولُو الْأَلْبَابِ. And those are the men of understanding. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us enough intellect so that we have graduated from our schools. We have finished our schools. We have taken degrees. We have gone to universities, got very nice qualifications, became engineers, doctors, computers, and many other kind of professions. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that the ultimate guidance, the ultimate degree, the ultimate qualification that you will get in this dunya is if you receive the guidance from the Qur'an. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has definitely given us that intellect. If we can do that, the Qur'an is the ultimate guidance that will stand till the end of time. And this degree will only benefit for us in this dunya, but this qualification will benefit us not just in this dunya, but also we are preparing for the akhirah. If you take a look at this beautiful illustration, that you have Abdullah, servant of Allah, in the center, and you have parents, your family, orphan, poor, neighbor, your colleague, traveler, friend of the same city, a person from a different faith. All of these connections are there that you have to give them the haqq. But the strongest one, this is an example of a chandelier. And if you take a look at a chandelier, there are different parts of a chandelier. There are different branches of a chandelier. But the strongest part of the chandelier is a straight line, a 90-degree angle, where you see the connection between the servant Abdullah and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if this strong connection between Abdullah and Allah is broken, if that chain is not there, then all the rest of the branches will fall and break. This is a direct 1-800 number that you can connect yourself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala if you indeed come closer towards understanding of the Quran and you implement this Quran. Theoretical versus practical knowledge. Weekly dars, weekly tafsir, weekly lectures, whatever you may have available in your community. When you do get a chance to listen, don't just limit it to that session, to that episode. Try to take it to the next level. How you can implement the teachings of the Quran at work, at home, at a market, at the airport, masjid, etc. Try to give you an example in a masjid. You're waiting in line to make wudu. By accident, you step one person and then you're waiting to get yourself to perform ablution to make wudu. The person who was in front of you realizes that you have stepped forward before him and he gets a little bit upset at you. Now, how would you react? He is very upset at you, and for a Muslim, it is very important that you control your emotion. The person is not strong by the strength he has, but by the way he controls his anger. How do we find this? لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ. If you indeed understand the Quran, that each and every occasion in your life, you can keep putting that template in your life and say, okay, I did get this kind of incident. How would Prophet Muhammad ﷺ guide me? How is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guiding me? And this is how you can implement. To have patience, to have sabr. And either you apologize or you let the other person go. Do not mind of what the person is saying, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had given the kind of immense blessing to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. وَلَوْ كُنْتُ فَضًّا غَلِيظَ الْقَلْبِ لَانْفَضُّوا مِنْ حَوْلِكَ. If Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam would not have been merciful and kind to his people, Islam would not have reached us. He was very kind. He was merciful to everyone. And no wonder Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. And indeed we have sent you as a mercy, not for Muslims, not for kafir, no, mercy. رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. Mercy to the worlds. Not alam, not just one world, not the world. Alameen, to all the worlds of human beings, of jinn, of animals, of plants, for all the beings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created. This is the example we get in us. Finally, we come to the last part of our basic rights of Quran. خَيْرُكُمْ مَنْ تَعَلَّمَ الْقُرْآنَ وَعَلَّمَهُ. The best amongst you is the one who learns the Quran and teaches it to others. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is inviting us to learn the Quran, implement the teachings of the Quran, understand the Quran. No author in a book invites someone to reflect upon its writings. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, numerous places, أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ أَفَلَا يَعْقِلُونَ أَفَلَا يَتَفَكَّرُونَ أَفَلَا تَتَفَكَّرُونَ. Numerous places, don't you think, don't you ponder, don't you reflect? Allah is inviting us. It is an open challenge for each and every one of us to come up to that level. Do not limit ourselves just to there, because our mission is very huge and very big. Let us come forward. Let us implement this beautiful aspect of teaching the Quran. First learn it and teach it to others, insha'Allah. Inshallah, in our next session, we will continue to learn the Quran. Jazakumullah khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.